So, because there's been females trying to wanted to get on my platform and teach men and all this kind of stuff and come up with their little titles and stuff, 3 days of darkness, and I know what all that about and stuff. I ain't got no time for you.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
I ain't got no time for you. Because I'm already detecting Jezzy, and you thinking that you're going to come on here. And so, because Hashatan know what I done said. He know what I stand for. So you think you think you're going to come on here so he can make a fool out of me. See, you don't realize what it's all about. He's trying to make a fool out of me, one of you who was chosen.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Shalom, Mishpacha. Anyone who knows me or follows my page knows that addressing personal grievances publicly is simply not my style or character. I'm simply an output for truth. I do not make videos for attention, clout, or entertainment. I wait entirely upon the instruction and guidance of the Ruach HaKodesh. However, when a leader takes to a public platform to slander a message of life and death given by the Most High, I am forced to step forward, not to defend my ego, but to defend the integrity of the Father's warning regarding the 3 days of darkness, and to hold leadership accountable to the word. Scripture gives us a clear protocol on how disputes and concerns are supposed to be handled in Yasharel. In Matthew chapter 18, verse 15 to 17, Yahusha commands, "And if your brother sins against you, go and reprove him between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. But if he does not hear, take with you 1 or 2 more, that by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word might be established. And if he refuses to hear them, say it to the assembly. And if he refuses even to hear the assembly, let him be to you like a Gentile and like a tax collector." I followed this exact order. I went to him privately. But when a self-proclaimed leader ignores private, orderly communication and instead uses a public platform to subvert a message, he demonstrates why not just anyone is fit to sit in the seat of teacher. James chapter 3 verse 1 warns us, "My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation." Let's take a look at the facts and the receipts, because truth operates in total light. On June 28th, I messaged Donald Page Sr. privately. As you can see on the screen, I sent an extensive package of research PDFs covering Nibiru, atmospheric shifts, prep checklists, historical evidence, and notes dating back to 2023. Out of pure humility and concern for the flock, I told him, take the materials, conduct the live yourself on your platform, put your face on it. I never asked to be a teacher or to hold a spotlight. Instead of thoroughly testing the evidence, he brushed it aside, claiming it was merely an 1800s Catholic nun prophecy, and refused to share it. He chose to act as a gatekeeper over information essential to the physical and spiritual safety of the people in his group and their families. This brings up a major red flag that the Mishpacha need to be aware of when discerning who to listen to in this movement. First, this individual held a previous occupation as a pastor, which is why some still call him, quote unquote, pastor. Retaining or holding onto titles from Christendom and religion once you claim to be in this awakening, is a massive red flag. Second, he operates and teaches from a temple built and named for the Lord. How can anyone preach the raw truth of the true Eloah, Yahuwah, while standing inside and operating out of a building dedicated to a pagan translation? It is a direct contradiction. In Matthew chapter 23, verse 8 to 10, Yahusha explicitly warns us against elevated titles. Be not ye called rabbi, neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Messiah. When men ordain themselves and carry over religious titles, they lean entirely on their own understanding. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 to 6. Instead of testing the Ruach. When a leader refuses to blow the shofar, the duty falls on the watchman. According to Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 1 to 6, if a watchman sees the sword coming and does not warn the people, their blood is required at the watchman's hand. Because I refuse to have the blood of the people on my hands, I messaged members of that group who are on my friends list directly to share the information so they could examine it for themselves. I did my duty, shook the dust off my feet, and moved on. We hosted our own live broadcast, and today over 6,000 people have received this warning. Many in Yasharel love to throw around the term spirit of Jezebel against any woman who brings evidence, scripture, or discernment. But in 1 Kings 21, the true mark of Jezebel is control, manipulation, suppression of truth, usurping authority, and in this case, using public platforms to slander the innocent. When a man uses his platform to dismiss truth simply because it came from a woman, he is the one operating in that very spirit. Furthermore, attempting to weaponize the account of Hawa, Eve, to suppress the daughters of Zion is a misuse of scripture. While the enemy targeted the feminine first, the Father also decreed in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, that through the seed of the woman, the head of the serpent would be bruised. To use Eve as a blanket justification to silence women, bringing factual scriptural evidence, ignores the full counsel of Eloah. Righteous women throughout scripture, like Deborah in Judges 4, Huldah in 2 Kings 22, and Priscilla in Acts chapter 18, verse 26, were raised up specifically when male leadership lacked understanding or failed to act. Those who hold an unscriptural disdain for feminine guidance are stumbling over the very spirit they claim to palau for. In the Hebrew tongue, Ruach is a feminine noun. When you call upon the Ruach HaKodesh or speak of Ruach Shakma, Sophia, the spirit of wisdom, in Proverbs 8 and 9, you are invoking a feminine presence that comforts, teaches, and guides. To subvert or fight against the genuine promptings of the Ruach HaKodesh borders on a terrifying line. Matthew chapter 12, verse 31 to 32. Because of this I say to you, all sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven men, but the blasphemy against the Ruach shall not be forgiven men. And whoever speaks a word against the Ben of Adam, it shall be forgiven him. But whoever speaks against the Ruach HaKodesh, it shall not be forgiven him, either in this age or in the age to come. I remind the Mishpachah, You are commanded to test every spirit and examine the fruit, not blindly follow titles. 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved ones, do not believe every spirit, but prove the spirits whether they are of a lure, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Matthew chapter 7, verse 20. Wherefore, by their fruit you shall know them. There is a lot more I could say regarding his conduct in relation to other matters and how this was handled, but I'm holding my peace and leaving those matters entirely in the hands of Yahuwah. Let this be a sobering reminder. Nothing goes unseen by the Father. Proverbs 15, verse 3. The eyes of Yahuwah are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 13. All things are naked and opened unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahuwah. And this is also for all those foolish-minded stirrers who perpetuate the hate against truth-tellers. Matthew chapter 15, verse 4. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Galatians chapter 4, verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Acts chapter 20, verse 29 to 30. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock also of your own selves, shall men arise, speaking twisted things to draw away disciples after them. My hands are clean. My conscience is clear before Abba Yahuwah, and I am completely about my Father's business. Examine the evidence, test the fruits, and stay watchful. Many barakos to the true remnant of Yasharal.